What is the best property strategy for 2023 if you want to create financial freedom, generational wealth, and that passive income that most people getting into property desire the most? You've got rent to rent, BRR, you've got purchase lease options, commercial conversions, and you've got lots of people vying for your attention, especially the people who are selling courses, trying to tell you their single strategy is the best. What I'm going to do in this video is explain to you what the very best strategy for you in 2023 or even beyond, anytime for you personally. And make sure you hang around to the end also, because I'm going to show you a little trick, what I call strategy stacking, that's going to 10x, easily double the speed of what you're doing it, if not 10x the speed of what you achieve your goals. But if financial freedom, generational wealth, and passive income from property is something you desire, what you're going to want to do right now is hit that like button and that subscribe button. We release videos like this every single week, so make sure you're following. So now let's get into it. How do you create generational full wealth, especially heading into a recession? At the time of recording this, we're heading into a recession. So how do you create this generational wealth? I'm just reading the book, The Psychology of Money, and they said how you create long-term sustainable wealth is via the compound effect. And the opportunity loss of what you'll have sitting and waiting in downturns, trying to figure out what you should do or if you should do anything, ultimately makes you lose. There is much better investors out there than Warren Buffett, but the fact that Warren Buffett started so early as a youngster meant he accumulated large sums of wealth using compound interest and staying in the markets and not jumping in and out when the markets are fluctuating. So you've got to pick the right strategy and the right asset class to be able to do that and achieve that. And this is what we're going to share with you here. And how you find out what that is by doing what I call the property delta matrix. This is a model and a framework I've developed to help people find which is best for them. Because what the truth is, every single strategy is going to work depending who you are and how you work the strategy. So as long as you work the strategy correctly, the strategy will work. So how do you know which strategy to pick for yourself? And this is what we're going to discuss here. So the main thing you need for any strategy or any business is to get a business going. You need money, you're going to need knowledge and network. And it's sat right in the middle of this. This is the property delta matrix. You're going to need some time. So let's put that together there in a triangle. So how you build wealth via property. And this is not the, you do want to add active income to build wealth via property. So at the bottom of this here is your active income. So you're going to need, like, if you want to do BRR alone is not enough in any market, especially in the recessionary market we're heading into at the moment. Banks will down value stuff and be cautious how they lend you. So any time and any cycle, you still want to have active income to chop up and put towards your assets. Above that delta matrix is your buy to lets. Above that is HMOs and service accommodation. Above that is commercial conversions, and above that is development and new builds. This is the delta matrix. If you ascend too high up on this too fast, what you'll do is expose yourself to risk. Why Warren Buffett is one of the most wealthiest men in the world is because he mitigated the downside risk and he consistently invested over a long period of time using the compound effect. As I said, this discusses this in The Psychology of Money, a fantastic book. So what you need to be able to do is go after the right strategy for you, relevant to where you are in your journey, and consistently do that throughout a recession, because you're going to be buying at a discount. The rates might be slightly higher. You might not be able to BRR as well, but what you're going to do is be buying good deals, and the opportunity cost of your money not compounding and saving that money from the earnings to put towards more deposits and more investments is going to be much larger than you would be if you dipped in and out of the markets in the periods of time when you felt it was good. Warren Buffett also says this, when we're talking about Warren Buffett, when the tide goes out, the people that's got their pants down are exposed. Basically, look, lots of people can make money in a growth market, but the real investors over a long period of time make their money consistently investing throughout any cycle. So how do you figure out which of these are the right strategy for you? We're going to mix in purchase lease options, rent to rents, and all this other stuff later on, but for the time being, we're looking at building an all-weather portfolio that can sustain the long term and the ups and downs in the market, so you can consistently invest. So how you work this out is you look at the top here, you think money, knowledge, network, time, and what you want to do with all these is you want to think of these as 0 to 10. So from 0 to 10 on these little markers, how do you score on each of these? So think of how much money you got. So how much, not money you just got, how much available funds do you have access to? You might have family members, friends, or colleagues that could potentially lend you money. So what sort of availability to funds have you got? Also, what knowledge do you have? Similar with the knowledge, you can have this vicariously. So have you got a brother that's a property investor or a mentor? Or like, knowledge is experience as well. So it's good watching YouTube channels like this. It's good reading books, but then you've got to put that into practical actions to really gain the experience and learn from this fully. How much knowledge do you have, and do you have vicarious knowledge? Same again, network. The higher you go up here, the more you need to be towards this end of this equation, because when you do bigger developments, your network won't, like, you need a network of maybe a handyman or a smaller firm builder to do single let buy to lets. But if you want to do commercial conversion development, you need different build teams, you need architects, you need tax consultants, you need planning consultants, you need tax advisors, you need proper accountants, you need a multitude of a multitude of bigger, I don't even know that's the correct word, but you just need a bigger power team to be able to achieve these things further up. So you want to see where you are. So score yourself 0 to 10 where you are with each of these. And there's one at the bottom that I missed off with this. Is, I say CCC, it stands for more C's, but you've got to have a cap on them C's somewhere. But from 0 to 10, where do you stand with courage, confidence, and conviction? Basically, this is how much pressure can you handle, how much stress you can handle. The difference between a deca-millionaire and a billionaire is not usually skill in their business. It's often the amount of pressure they can handle, because each level you go up, the bigger the project you do, the more people you get involved with this, the higher levels of pressure it involves. So think of it like this. You've got to skill up. You don't start a computer game at level 10, it just put you off. It's too difficult. You start level 1 and you skill up and get competent along the way. That's what you want to do with this. Skill up on the smaller stuff and get competent along the way. Think of it like Anthony Joshua. When he won the Olympics, he didn't go straight in for a heavyweight title fight when he'd become a pro. He started off in smaller arenas, journeyman, and worked his way up to the title fight. Because if you go too large too quick, what happens is it loses your confidence and you don't convict anymore. If you've never done anything before, some people have got transferable skills, by the way, but if you've never done anything before, I suggest start with buy-to-lets. I feel everybody should have good buy-to-lets in their portfolio anyway, because they're a really predictable income. There's not much variables that can go wrong with them. They are pretty much let and forget, apart from some maintenance. If you get the right style buy-to-let properties, it's not for this video now, but I explain what the right style ones are in the northeast or in the north, or these areas where you can buy them under 150k and you attract long-term family homes, then this is the solid foundation you'll need to go up with these. Because think of it like this. Look, so say if you start off, either wherever you are, but if you get yourself, let's say 10 times buy-to-lets, give you 250 a month, it's going to give you 2.5k per month income. This then gives you some income and experience. By then you've dealt with some builders, you cut your teeth on costing a refurb, you built out your network a little bit better, you've got an understanding of your area a little bit better, because the last thing you want to do is go to an area or not understand investment areas, because just living in an area doesn't mean you understand it. Not understand it correctly, buy a HMO and it's not in the right place and you spend 100k converting this and you struggle to rent this. So then once you've understood this, you can then extend up to the HMOs and SAs and things like that, which are much more complex to manage. Again, that's why you want to build out your network, and especially to deliver. If you want to do BRR or add value to HMOs, you've got to do all ensuite commercial style ones, often involving planning into sui generis, not just a 6-bedroom. So that takes a lot more skill and a lot more funds. So you're looking, if you can do this cleanly, at least 10k per room for ensuite, and you want really 7-bedroom ones to turn it into sui generis, and a planning application, which is going to cost you money as well. A lot of people don't understand the extra cost with the planning and the tests and stuff like that. It involves with that. But if you've got 2.5k coming in per month and you've got experience from this, number one, the banks are going to lend you stronger. There's only 2 banks at time of recording this that I know of that will lend first-time landlords on HMOs. So this tells you something in itself. It tells you they're more complex. They want you to be a landlord already and for at least a year. That's all the other lenders. So that just tells you something in itself, saying it is more complex than the banks feel so, and they want to see you get some experience managing tenants and managing refurbs before you jump up to that. So if you've got the experience from here from your 10 properties and you jump up to here and you do some HMOs, you might do some HMOs and some SAs are more complex to manage. Let's say you do now 4 times HMOs and you get on average a K per property. So this can give you a 4K income per month. So now you've got 6.5K per month. So if you then want to extend further up, and this is about taking time, compounding, building this up, because there's opportunity in all of these strategies. It's just if you advance too quick and you get wiped out, then you're wiped out. So this is how you build it up steadily without getting wiped out. So then when you've got your 4K, your total 6.5K here, then when you jump up to commercial conversions, again, a lot more complex, can take a lot more time, especially if there's planning involved, if you're not doing permitted development. Even if you are doing permitted development, you've got to understand how to do these. I had a great relationship with a Lloyd's relationship manager in the bank who was really willing to lend to me. Then I showed them a commercial conversion. They said, we're not willing to lend anymore. I said, how come? She's willing to lend. You said, like, he's pretty keen to lend before. And they said, because we've been stung on too many of these projects, we've not got an appetite for that anymore. It's nothing to do with you. We've not got an appetite for them style projects. A commercial conversion on paper is very different to delivering that project. You've got to manage builders and programs of works and architects and loads that goes on. Your CDM levels and health and safety go through the roof. You need it at all these levels, but it goes up even more. There's more complexity to it. So if you've got 6.5K a month, there is challenges no matter how far up you are on your knowledge and your network. You still get challenges. You still get builders go bust, or builders take too much on and say yes to too many jobs and delay you. You still got challenges to navigate, but you build up the confidence. Like I was talking about with Anthony Joshua, you build up that muscle of confidence, conviction to be able to take these on, and you build that network out along the way. So now if you took these on, and let's say you've got 3 times these giving you 2K per month, you now can have an income of 6K per month. You can see the rewards are much higher the further you go up, but the risks are much more higher. The way you compound and be in this for a long time and create this passive income and this generational wealth is being in the market. Again, quoting Warren Buffett a lot, but time in the market always beats time in the market. So then if you've got your 6K a month, match with your 6.5K a month, you've got 12.5K a month. If you do want to extend, like keep on elevating up this delta matrix and go to developments, which again is going to be even more costly, even more things that challenges that come along. You get challenges at every level of this. Like there's unforeseen stuff that pops up, but the higher you go up with these unforeseens, the more they cost you. If you misjudge a buy-to-let refurb by 10% because you don't know how to cost that correctly, or the builder doesn't quote you correctly, and you don't know if he is quoting you correctly or not, and you don't recognise that, and he misquotes it by 20%, that can cost you. I feel on the BRR buy-to-lets, you want to be spending around 10K. So if that goes out 10%, this is what I call the keep it simple, stupid refurb methodology. If it goes out by 10%, you're looking at £1,000. If it goes out 20%, you look at £2,000. That's stuff you can potentially put on a credit card and a lot more recoverable than if you was playing at 100K refurbs or 300K refurbs and going out 10%. You do the math yourself. This is what can bankrupt people and stop them being in the game over a long period of time. People rush in and try and have these big gains. Warren Buffett, again, I'm going to keep using him for the theme of this, talks about just having a steady gain over a long period of time, compounding. This is how you build real long-term sustainable growth. Along the way, you'll have some lucky breaks and some capital appreciation and these little bits that hit the upside, but building long-term wealth is more important about mitigating the downside risk as it is about the upsides. If you go for too much of a big project too quick, you'll wipe yourself out both financially, credibility wise, and mentally with your courage, confidence and conviction. But here's the little added bonus that I was going to say about strategy stacking. What you want to do is create active income to go with all these. I think you should keep that active income within the ecosystem of property ideally. So you could become a videographer in property. You could become a deal sourcer in property. Everybody should be a deal sourcer, or at least a side hustle deal sourcer in property. This is not a video for this now, but we have done a video on that. You could become ads manager, social media manager. Think of side hustles you can create within property that you can generate this active income to put towards your James Sinclair calls this fast pans and slow pans. Think of your fast pans, put it into your slow pans. When you're early on in your journey, make sure you're patient with that. The exception to the rule is you might be a builder, so you can jump up to these higher ones already. You might be a quantity surveyor. You might be really high up on money, and you might be really high up on confidence and conviction. So you might take the stress and pressure that comes with navigating this in the deep end. You might have a one-on-one mentor that holds your hand for a year that takes you further up. But again, you need more money to be able to achieve that. So just judge it personally where you are. Don't get the shiny penny following other people. Don't just chase. You've got to expand your comfort zones, and you've got to take risks, but you've got to take calculated risks, especially in a recession. Even more so, you've got to take calculated risks. And the little thing that I was saving for you was strategy stacking. So what strategy stacking is, look, BRR works with all of these. But what you might be doing is thinking purchase lease option to BRR. So when you arrange, look, we're going to purchase lease option this, or a PLO, just a purchase option. So you get the agreement to purchase it, you get it locked out with an agreement, get a restriction on property, you do the work, then you flip it onto a mortgage yourself and exit it with that. You've got to get the right lawyers. Again, you need a bit more experience for that stuff and the right network. But that can be done. You might be thinking of rent to SA or BRR to SA. You might be thinking of, you might be considering doing rent to HMO to purchase lease option. Once you're in the door of a purchase lease option with somebody, a rent to rent, it's easier to negotiate after you've owned that for or work with them for a year to potentially take that on at a purchase price where you agree it now, and you've already proved to them, I can pay you the rent and the lease option, the lease element of this deal. So why don't we just agree at a purchase price now? In this market, when landlords might be panicking and they think the market's going to drop, this is a fantastic time for purchase lease options. You might do assisted sales to a BRR. So again, instead of putting out a lease and paying them money per month, you might have that as assisted sale, and then you buy it yourself at the back end of it. So you don't weigh any money at the front end apart from the refurbishment costs. So think about strategy stacking as well within these to accelerate the speed you go forward to get your active income in now. Look, if you're still here with me, massive thank you. For people like you, supporting this channel really helps this grow. So if you've not done it already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe and the bell icon. My why is to live on my terms. My mission is to help as many people live on their terms using financial education mindset as a vehicle to do this. So please share this with somebody if you think they'll find that valuable. And remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms, and have an amazing day.